back at Killarney, Cape Town, where the tension is mounting and the pressure is on. This is round 2. Welcome to the Bridgestone production cars. Bridgestone production car action is proudly brought to you by Fast Orange Hand Cleaner.
On this show, we catch up with all the action from round number 2 of the Bridgestone production cars, classes A and T. For more information on this racing, log on to www.spcc.co.za. Bridgestone production cars Class A feature cars from 3 manufacturers. Audi with their S4, BMW with their 335i in the F30 and older E90 models, as well as a Subaru in their brand new WRX STI. In the Class Ts, there are 5 manufacturers represented: VW Golf, Ford Focus, Mini Coopers, Chevrolet Cruze and the Renault Megane.
Coming into round 2, there's been 3 weeks of development for all the teams to turn some screws. Let's start with Class A. Reigning champion Michael Stephen had a great first round and bagged loads of points to give him and the Engine Extreme Audi the head start they were looking for. Teammate Chop Sapuka had an emotional win in the second race of round 1, which helped catapult the team ahead. Let's not forget that it was all at Killarney that Chops won his first race in the older model A4. With 57 points already under their belt, the team looked ready to play. Etienne van der Linde destroyed his BMW in the Superpole at Killarney, but jumped into the older car to consolidate some points. ADF Motorsport have worked overtime to rebuild the race car, and Etienne is raring to go. His new teammate, Johan Ferrari, will be racing the F30 for the first time here at his home track. And if his result in the feature race at Killarney is anything to go by, he has adapted to the BMW driving style beautifully. Friday's practice saw Johan Ferrari blitz the competition in his F30 BMW Bullet. This smile spoke volumes as to his ongoing love affair with his 335i. John Mayer joins the 2013 lineup in the Tricor Science E90 BMW 335i. His rookie season behind him, it will be interesting to see what this year will hold. Round 1 was an event where Subaru had to land on their feet running. The team was happy with the initial performance and have since been testing and perfecting their race package. Richard Pinnard looks confident with the new cars. As Henny Kruneveld assured us, they are now fighting for wins. VMP Motorsport have replaced the wiring system and have changed key parts in the gearbox in Gennaro's car. And speaking to the young Top Gun earlier on, he is focusing on reliability and being competitive. Melville believes his car is on pace, and Killarney showed it had the potential to ruffle some rivals' feathers. Small tweaks to the car should give the Mueller Sports Medicine machine well-deserved podiums in the future. Big news in Class T is that the new Fords will not make their debut at round 2. Speaking to Vaughan Williams, he was not happy with the new car's performance yet, and although the team have worked day and night to get them ready, he does not believe that they have the race pace yet that the team requires. Team Ford Racing have decided to consolidate points in the meantime and spend a few more weeks getting the new model's race package perfect. Team Castrol Mini have received new engines but did not have enough time to get them ready for this event. The new engines have double Vanos variable valve timing, which should improve low down power and reduce lag. These are back at the workshop and will be ready for round 3. But sadly, in Friday's practice, Thompson's Mini had an oil pump malfunction, which damaged the engine, ending his race weekend in disappointment. The Indy Oil team spent most of 2011 developing the Golf 6 and getting rid of some gremlins. Since then, Nathan's been on pace lap after lap, and the reigning champ is looking as dangerous as ever. His teammate, the young Stiglet, Jacques Jobert, piloting his own Golf 6, does not seem content for second place. And Killarney saw both Nathan and Jabeur winning races convincingly. Devin Robinson might not look on pace yet, but there's been more testing on the Liqui Moly Renault, and the team is getting consistently faster and making sure that they finish races. Keep your eyes on Robinson as the season progresses. I think he might surprise you. Finally, the Rustenburg rocket Michael van Rooyen is geared to add more rocket power to his Williams-Hunt Chevrolet Cruze, with the new engine already being tested and surprising everyone. Speaking to Michael firsthand, the humble racing driver assured us, "No more Mr. Nice Guy." That's our news for round 2. Fasten your seatbelts and brace yourself as Class A and Class T unleash their machines and battle for glory.
In qualifying, it was all about everyone trying to make their way to the front. As we all know, getting out front on this track particularly is what it's all about. Priest was good, but not as good as the Afrox BMWs that were firing. Van der Linde was up there into second place, but it was the hometown hero, Johan Fourie, that put the number 14 Afrox BMW all the way to the top of the pile.
Class T was showing some mettle as well, because a lot of the teams hadn't done well previously up to this round, but I'll tell you what, Michael van Rooyen was doing the business. Of course, you couldn't rule out Graham Nathan, of course, the reigning champ in this series, and he was about setting a fast time. But then along came Gary Formato. Boy, was he flying down the back straight.
Looking at qualifying then, this is how the grid lined up. Johan Fourie and Etienne van der Linde, the two BMWs on the front row, followed by Melville Priest and Gennaro Bonafide.
Also battling for points, Michael Steven, Henning Grunewald. Then it was Chop Sapuka and Richard Pinnard in the other Subaru.
Got to go a long way back for John Mayer. He's got some work to do in Cape Town.
Class T looked like this. Front row, Gary Formato, blistering pace. Graham Nathan in the mix. Michael van Rooyen in the Cruze. Jack Jabeur in the other GTI.
Gavin Cronier and the Mini have a lot to do. Sean Duminy as well, down in 6th, just ahead of Devin Robertson.
Well, you've gone about this in a really hard way. You've set the fastest lap. You're almost on, in fact, you are on lap record pace here at Cape Town. Outstanding. You must be really happy, and it bodes well for the first race.
Yeah, no, for sure. We came here determined. We came here, we know, as last time before we go to P, which is Audie's hunting ground, we need to get maximum points at Killarney. And yesterday, the team Afrox and Pertec BMW is performing absolutely beautiful. Myself and my teammate were up there the whole day. And yeah, luckily you say lap record pace, but it wasn't planned beforehand. But I need to say thank you to my teammate for towing me around, because he just gave me that little bit extra. I've got a nice back toe and a front straight toe, so unbelievable. And like I said, the car is just performing beautifully, and it seems like it suits you. And it's my home circuit, so it always gives me a little bit extra anyway. But yeah, now qualifying's over, so now it's the 3 races that's left. So we have to push hard and make it reality and come home with a couple of victories.
Second quickest, also on lap record pace right now, Etienne van der Linde. The BMWs right now are the package to beat.
Yeah, I think for a change we managed to pull off a pole position with Johan. He got in a good lap. Yeah, I think we've shown pace all weekend. So, but in the past we've always gone well, yeah. So I think we just need to build on that and make sure we get to the finish and get some solid points.
Lap record pace, Gary, that must be encouraging.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Look, I mean, it's the first time lap I've done all weekend, so I'm very happy that the team were able to sort the car out and give me a car that is good enough to be able to just go out there and give me the confidence to do the lap immediately. So very happy with that. Pity about Sean. I think Sean had some issues with his car, so otherwise I think both cars are looking good.
So, you know, it's going to be a battle royal once again. Graham Nathan's in the melting pot. This time around looks like the Pocket Rocket. Michael van Rooyen has got his car to go in. So it looks like we're really in store for a really good T battle.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to have a good race. Graham and I have showed that we can race together door to door and have a good race. And, you know, I think with another couple of cars in there, I think as long as everybody does what they need to do, I think we can put on a good show for everybody at the track.
Not the fastest man for a change, but second quickest at the moment. The race is another deal altogether. But are you surprised by Formato got it together?
No, I'm not surprised. He battled the whole day yesterday, so he didn't really get a lap. Then they set the parameters of the motor car in accordance to what Sean could do. And naturally, Gary had a little bit more talent than what Sean did. He came out and did the work. Good job to him.
They say it's important when you've got a team like this to get here in Cape Town, particularly, a nice toe. Was that the case today with you and Jacques?
We tried that. Unfortunately, Jacques had a failure on a drive shaft, but we had a go at it. I had to then go out on my own. I don't know if Gary got a toe. I doubt it. I think he was out on his own in front. So, yeah, the race is another story. I'm not going to let him have it. Not for 1 minute will he have it on his own.
So first of the sprint races being a 7-lapper, very important to start the day on a good footing and get yourself out there, and for the Afrox BMWs to convert those great qualifiers on the front row into points and get out there. The good thing is the rolling start really plays into the hands of the BMW boys, and they're controlling it through the first turn.
There's no doubt about that. We've seen that in the past. The BMWs really do need that to get on the way. Always going to be under pressure from the all-wheel drive. We're on board right now. Gary Fumato, Class T. Boy, was he setting some blistering pace as well, Matt.
And was he good off the start? He was right up on the back wheel of the slowest Class A qualifier, that was John Mayer, got through in turn number 1 and started putting a bit of a gap between himself and the rest of the Class Ts. Henny Groenewald, not the best qualifier we've seen out of him, and look at the literal wall that he has to drive through. Just a little tap on Stephen to get himself through there, but he still couldn't find the hole.
Actually, because he was turning left, that worked out really nicely for him as well, because if he'd been turning into that corner, he would have been in trouble and probably flipped the back end. Adam Malmesbury, the 3-point apex turn. We're on board right now. Melville Priest and the other Audi also showing signs and leaving over from what he was doing in Killarney. This looks good and bodes well for Priest this weekend.
It does. He set himself up very well with a great qualifier and a good start. In fact, it looks like he got a little bit outbraked by himself there, trying to go around the outside of Van der Linde. Van der Linde isn't getting on terms with the car and on the tyres as quick as his teammates, and it's Ferrari just extending off the front and is starting to stretch out behind.
One of the big worries for everybody in the field, including early in Class A, was the fact that how well the BMWs were going. 236 down the back straight. I mean, how can you catch that? They were almost 800s faster than anybody else.
Yeah, I think coming out of the second sector of the track, and we're heading there now, turns 1 and 2, and then you start setting up the technical part of the track, and that's where the all-wheel drive system can start kicking in. Go back into the Class Ts. Gavin Cronje, not a great qualifier, and in fact he's been sent back 1 spot as Robertson comes through.
On board with Gavin Cronje in the John Cooper Works Midi right now, and missing his partner who had oil pump problems, and it just seized the engine. He's going to have to fly this flag alone this weekend.
Yeah, we know the minis are down on power. The Coastal Air will help a little bit, but being down on ponies certainly doesn't. Yeah, Joubert has got some big problems. He actually came together with his teammate in the first turn, so he's got a little bit of body rub, and we hope that thing's going to hold together. Back at the front of the Class A's, and Bonafide is desperate to get through. You can see he's carrying a lot of pace there, and that was from getting the 2-car tow down the back straight.
We saw reminiscence of the talent from Bonafide at Killarney, finished really, really strong. And, you know, that car's gone through it, all its niggles. In fact, the entire field have. They're always going to have problems, but Bonafide seems to be on the pace right now.
Able to qualify well also, and you can see the damage is just getting worse and worse on Joubert's car as he runs out there in 5th place. The top 3 are breaking away, though.
You can see the fact that there is evidence on Graham Nathan's car that Jack Joubert, as you quite rightly pointed out, has gone into the back of him. I wonder if there'll be a few quiet words.
Problems, Steve. He's got some handling problems because he way outbraked himself there. I'm talking about Jacques Joubert, just 2 cars up the road as Robertson was closing him down, but he had massive understeer in turn number 1.
Back to the front end of the leaders in Class A, and Van der Linde doing the business under pressure from 2 Audi S4 supercharged cars. It is Melville Priest and Gennaro Bonafide.
And, of course, we have to talk about the setup. Everything is about these sprint races before we go into the feature race to end out the day. And that's why there's tension out there. That's why everyone is so determined to get a good result and start the day off well. Look at the lead that Ferrari's got.
10 points is 10 points, you know, Matt.
It is. You just need them, and it's going to be so hard to catch them up later on in the year. Remember, this is round 2 of the Bridgestone production cars. We are concentrating on Class A right now, picking up on Class T, but this is the battle for 2nd place on the road.
Wow, look at this. Priest is humming at the moment. Humming. We go back to visuals on Class T. Nathan is still there, patchy bodywork. The crews, Michael van Rooyen, starting to show some pace as well. And just in front of him at the moment is the man who has had some blistering pace, Gary Fumato. Of course, they're here. We're still with their older cars, and we're waiting for the debut of the new ones.
Yeah, we're desperate to see that new thing come out, but they're obviously not happy with the development of it just yet. The promise will be extended as we go into round number 3 at Port Elizabeth. But let's talk about Michael van Rooyen. He had some big engine problems at round number 1. They pretty much did a full rebuild as far as under the engine bay goes. and he has brought a package that can really run well at the big track.
Well, I always have to have a wry grin when we speak about Michael van Rooyen because they are dogged with so much bad luck, and they have been for the last 3 seasons on the trot.
Big moves happening a little bit further back here, and this is the war that is happening on track between 3 drivers and 3 manufacturers. Jacques Joubert having problems in the second of the Golfs, and then he is going up against the Megane and the Mini. We go back to the front, and it is definitely tight. Formato isn't breaking away, and there's a big move there. Nathan is getting huge drive coming into Malmesbury, and this is where he's trying to set up the cruise.
Yeah, Nathan's not finished with this, I can assure you. And we're on board with him right now. Michael van Rooyen just ahead in the windscreen, and it is that close. Believe you me, Formato, it's all about power down the back straight. But I'll tell you, that cruise is no slouch.
No, it is definitely flying really good on the anchors as well. And look at the line that Formato is using. Really wide and sweeping. That sets up a good drive onto the start-finish straight. So he is hanging on there. And I say hanging on because it looks like the other cars have the better and beating of him through the technical part outside of turn number 2. But down the straights, he is getting it fired down, and he doesn't give the guys enough chance to get up there and run with it.
Still on board with Michael van Rooyen at the moment. Car T29 in that Chevrolet Cruze, doing the business and leading Class T at the moment. All the focus on T.
Oh,
no!
Formato is gone. That was just pushed the front end a little bit too hard. He was carrying amazing pace into that turn the whole way through practice and qualifying that set up his good time, but it looks like he is fading and going off the back. That's something hugely mechanical. He is faded all the way to the back of T's.
Nice little dice here between Gavin Cronier and Devon Robinson, and lots of prospect with that car. They're continually on the development side of things, and will we see it finally break through as did Michael van Rooyen?
Yeah, I think time will tell, and there'll be a couple of tracks that will suit him a little bit better. Look at Nathan, though. He is on the fly, still trying to get that wheel up the inside there in the Cruze, suffering massive understeer. That opened up the hole, and you don't have to ask the big man twice. He has gone through. What has also happened is we see Nathan with clear...
Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back.
Oh, look at that thing. So he got crossed up, couldn't get the drive, but he did get the speed and got the drive and the hammer down the straights. So Nathan looked like he had the pass done, and he has to do it all over again. And that's Duminy coming.
Ah, look at that, a little nudge. Hello, I'm coming through next time, says Nathan. Michael van Rooyen is in control. Although Formato out, Sean Duminy will still pick up a point for the team Ford.
He's doing very well, and out of a poor qualifier as well. Formato just limping. I don't even know if he's going to stay out there for the duration of the short first sprint race. But out front, it is all about a new sign and a new symbol on the front of the car and a new rider and driver at the front of the pack. It's all about Van Rooyen trying to nab some points.
Was that a rumor, or did I see a Class A car on the other side of the track?
Yeah, I know, man. It's all over the place, and that's what's great about production cars, Classes A and T, on the track at the same time. We are all over the circuit.
All right, so through engine, no damage right now to any other cars other than Nathan at the moment. Oh, front end of Class A. This is where the action is. 2 BMWs. There's Melville. He's hunting down.
Busiest man on track the entire race has been Etienne van der Linde. He has been relying on the performance and the setup on his BMW 335i to stay out front and control second place to stay ahead of Melville Priest. But Priest has kept in extremely honest. Bonafide was trying to get through on the first of the Audis and just hasn't been able to deliver. 4th place is where he's going to stay.
Not long to go right now in our first of our 3 races, and Van Rooyen, this will be an unbelievable achievement, and the supporters and friends and family and mechanics of this team will go absolutely bonkers if he wins this.
It is going to be a crazy one. It's lovely to see a new manufacturer delivering so early on in the season, and of course we're talking about more development happening with that car. This is still the battle for second place on the road. As you can see, our race leader just going through shot and probably just rolling out, saving a bit of engine, saving a bit of tyres for the rest of the day. But Melville Priest is running out of time. We're talking about one more corner to get himself up there in his second place, and the legs just seem to be in the hands of the BMW today.
Again, it's down the back straight was where they're so dominant and powerful, and you know, as much as Melville will reel them in around the corners because of the all-wheel drive down that back straight, and we spoke about it earlier on, they're so powerful. So here we come then. It's going to be a race win for the BMWs, Team Afrox and Pertic BMW.
Flag to flag for Fourie, converting that pole position into the first victory of the day in production cars Class A. His teammate backing him up with the 2 spot.
That's a Dalmatian of sorts, isn't it? I'm sure of it. Front end of Class 10. Here it comes. Michael van Rooyen's going to hold on to this. And under pressure from Graham Nathan. Wow, what a result for the Team Cruze. And there in the background, 3rd place, great points. It's Sean Duminy. They're going to pick up some massive points here for Ford.
And a huge loss for Formato. He's got a lot of work to do as the day goes on. But this man, And the Cape Town hero, Johan Fourie, looking to go out and dominate every single race today. Watch out for the crews.
All right, let's get confirmation of those results for race 1 in Class A. Johan Fourie, Eddie van der Linde, Melville Priest, and Gennaro Bonafide.
Kenny going down to 5th place. He's going to have to pull his socks up as the day goes on. Chop Sapuka, Pinard, John Mayer, and championship points leader Stephen finishing a lap down after having to come into the pits with a puncher.
Confirmation, Class T. Here come the top 3. Michael van Rooyen, Graham Nathan, and Sean Dumity in the Ford picking up points. Standing here with race winner Johan Fourie. Absolutely blinding performance from Team Afrox and Pertic BMW. Outstanding. The only way to nullify those Audis was to get a rolling start. You did that. Take us through the race.
Yeah, I'm sure the team is very happy. I'm just so happy that my team, Afrox and Pertic BMW, is performing this way it did. That first couple of laps, I just caught qualifying laps, just put my head down, just focus, didn't watch my mirrors. And then since then I can maintain a little bit because I knew Etienne was fighting hard with the Audis and looked like Melva had some pace. But luckily my teammate could keep them behind. So well done to him as well. And then I think we're going to have a hard battle in the next race with the reverse one. And unfortunately, I drew 8. I wished for 6, but yeah, we'll see how it goes in the second one. Like I said before, we have to finish. We can't get a 0, but I'm going to aim for a faster lap in that race so we get a good slot for race 3. So let's just try and get as much position as I can possible, but without being too dangerous or too kamikaze.
A long time coming, Michael.
It's been very long. We were absolutely ecstatic. It's a wonderful feeling. It took us about 6 months, more or less, but it's great to finally be here, and it's just everyone's hard work that paid off in the end.
You're coming with a new car and a new an engine, really. You've done a lot of development. The car's in, it's not ready. We were hoping to see that new one. Is that going to give you a little bit more confidence, knowing that your old baby, can actually maybe perform not quite as well as the new thing coming?
Well, yes, it does. It gives us a chance to stay in the championship until the new car comes. Although we had a terrible round at Killarney, I think if we can just hang in there till the new car comes, then we've got a chance at the end of the season.
Standing here with Gary Formato from Team Ford, and they showed some blistering pace in qualifying and got him on the front row, and the car looked really strong, very, very, very quick and competitive. Sadly, something went wrong.
Yeah, it did. I felt in the warm-up lap as I drove out the pits, actually, something at the front end had broken. So I knew it wasn't great. I could see the steering wheel in all directions it wasn't supposed to be. I thought, let's just give it a go until we couldn't drive anymore. So it was really only the left-hand turns that were affected because the right-hand front corner had broken. But the rest of it was actually quite fine. So, yeah, one of those things, you know. I'm just happy for Michael and the next door that they've managed to win a race with that Chev. So, you know, what the hell, you know, we'll give it a go again later.
This is the man in Class T's, at least, that everyone has to beat for the rest of the day. And is he happy with that? I think so.
Another man who's equally happy is Johan Fourie in front of his hometown crowd. I heard them screaming from the stadium down at turn number 1.
Of course, the rest of the players have another sprint race and a feature race to go out and bag as many points as they can here at round number 2. The Audis will be scratching their heads.
Lots of jubilation for the team of Michael van Rooyen. I told you they were going to be happy, and they put that ghost to bed. Lots of body damage on the Golf 6. Melville Priest and Chop Sapuka having a few words. And this man surely has to be worried right now.
Even a smile from Michael, Stephen. And the rest are just getting themselves ready for what the rest of the day holds in Cape Town.
So far, blue skies and sunshine. It's been a wonderful time so far. We're bringing you action from race number 2 coming up, Class A and Class T. The melee, the conversational points, and what is wrong with the cars will all be decided in race 2. So here comes the all-important draw, and how many cars are going to be inverted? Is it going to be good or bad? Oh, it's bad for Fourie. It's 8 cars inverted. Boys, it's going to throw something into the mix.
Yeah, check who it puts at the front as well. Pole position for John Mayer. He's going to have to control that inside line, but watch out as there is contact, and both of the Subarus are desperate to get through. And the this is not a drifting competition. That is Henny Groenewold at full pace.
Man, I can tell you that John Mayer, all he wanted to do was get out of there, and he just had this, like, melee of cars coming up behind him. He was just giving way left, right, and centre.
He looks absolutely terrified there, and it's obvious that he is backing out of this and allowing everyone to sweep around the outside. Now, look how the format of the race has changed. With the inversion, the BMWs go back, and the all-wheel drive cars go to the front, and watch how they're going to be able to control this race now. This is the sector of the track that is so good for the all-wheel drive systems, and look at the Afrox BMWs. Fully blocked. They could not get the drive through, and they're going to be going backwards quickly.
Well, that's another reason I was mentioning Meyer, because he's going to play a pivotal role in...
Oh, again.
Wow.
He just made the wrong decision there. Sorry to jump in here, Steve. He just went fading to the right. He should have faded to the left, and that just caused all kinds of problems. There's a definite gap now in proceedings. You can see 1, 2, and 3. Then you go back and pick up on the second of the Engine Extreme Audis. That looks like Steven just trying to get himself through there and get some kind of points in the bag.
What I want to know is, anybody got a heart monitor on John Mayer right now? I'd love to know what the BPM of that is at the moment. Anyway, back to the front end. We were just on board with Melville Priest and some great shots. But Henny Groenewold, well, he's got the luck of the draw. It's put him out in front, and he really can turn a wheel. But the man who's chasing him down. Now, we know this in terms of inverted grids, how well Chop Sapuka always performs.
You're right, Steve. He just seems to come good. It takes him a little bit of a longer while than the rest of the drivers to warm himself up on a race day. But put him a little bit further back, and he starts to get himself into a dice. The blood starts pumping, and the red flag comes out, and he really just wants to get himself out there and charging. The most consistent driver that is running in the front bunch right now is the man that we're on board with, Gennaro Bonafide. But he wants to get up there and tag some podiums.
Ferrota Racing doing well at the moment. Speaking to Gennaro Bonafide's dad earlier on, and he was saying, I think we've got it licked. And I'm going, really? All the gremlins?
I don't know about the gremlins, but look at Duminy. He is in the biggest fight of his life right now. Graham Nathan just bullies his way around the outside of the Mini. He's got a completely different line as well. As you can see, the rest of the drivers stretching away out front. The problems on Fumoto's car, certainly they've gone away for now, but will they last the full sprint race?
I've never understood it, Matt, because they say Malmesbury is the sort of a three-point apex, and I've only seen one line going through there.
Yeah, but you're doing so much wheel work, and Michael Steven, once again, playing with the gearbox, couldn't get the drive, missed his gear, and now he's lost almost the entire straight. Everyone's just going to come flying past him once again, so a luckless Michael Steven today.
Sean Duminy, and of course, just ahead of him is Gary Fumoto. His troubles behind him, it would appear at the moment. And there's a great shot just in front on board with Graham Nathan. That Castrol John Cooper Works Mini. The only one left at the moment. Gavin Cronje, as we said earlier on, flying the flag. And they're having to really battle against the rest of the field here.
A couple of brand new engines waiting for them after this trip when they go and do the full rebuild, strip down and get ready for heat number 3. And whoa, round number 3, I should say. But that was a huge problem for Duminy. Completely missed his braking marker there.
So, chasing down Sean Duminy in the other Ford STI, and we're on board right now with Gavin Cronje, and that works. John Cooper Midi, as they come out of the Rose Foundation, on their way through to one of your favourite parts. It's a Malmesbury.
Malmesbury, you've got to get your throat in it, Steve.
Sorry.
It is all about carrying the big speed. It gets set up, and look at the Mini just hanging the back end there, but you've got to be so brave. If you do not carry as much speed as humanly possible through that corner, you will not be able to get the big drive. And look at Nathan. He had to pick a line inside or out. You just got to hope that the Mini is not going to slow him down too much, because it does not have the top end legs. You can see he got held up ever so slightly and had to go shopping around the outside looking for a line.
Yeah, this is where the Fords are so strong on that back. Oh, he's lost it. I think that's Duminy.
Just too much. That was brakes. And he had a problem in turn number 2 as well. So the problem has just exacerbated. It's got a hell of a lot worse, and it caused a major problem. He's gone all the way back.
So 4 of 7, we're over half of this race at the moment, and here is Graham Nathan on a charge of chase. Oh my word!
And here we go, he's got the drive. He just applied pressure, he did not touch the Mini. He applied enough pressure to force a mistake, and now you're going to see a bit of clear air, and he should be able to break away from the Mini. The Mini will not have the big legs.
Man, how did Cronje save that? Unbelievable. So, Henny Groenewold, there's Chop Sapuka, behind him Gennaro Bonafide, and there's the other S4. Oh, there's big problems now for Steven, oh my word.
Again. Lightning can strike twice, and both times it struck Michael Steven. This time it looks like a gearbox situation.
So the leader in Class A, Henny Groenewold, and they'll be delighted, this team, because they haven't had it all their own way this weekend. Showed a bit of promise during qualifying, but that's about as much as they've achieved so far.
Well, that was a big dive. I think that was Ferrari in the first of the Afrox BMWs, just shoving one up the inside of Priest. Priest had to back out of that one, otherwise they were both going to go farming. And wing mirror to wing mirror, door to door, and the pass is finally done. That took 2 corners to get that nailed down.
Yeah, Ferrari side by side. He was, of course, the leader and winner of race number 1. And because we've got 8 cars inverted, it's a bit of work for him to do on this race.
I'll tell you what has changed up now. Now that we see big problems on Michael Stephen in heats 1 and 2, we're going to start thinking about Ferrari as a championship points leader. He is looking very solid.
Well, I don't know. The BMWs are certainly... It's early days at the end of the day, Matt. I mean, not too much can be read into it, but certainly if you garner enough points in the early stages of a championship, bodes well for the middle of the championship and then the end.
It is easier to defend than attack, Steve.
There's Duminy, there's the Cruise from Van Rooyen, and there's Jack Joubert still circulating and chasing down Michael Van Rooyen.
Yeah, there is no more orange duct tape left in Cape Town, holding that thing together for now. But it is getting a little bit tasty further back. And Van Rooyen, unfortunately, not able to run at the front like he was in the first heat. We're going to have to see in the feature race whether he's got the legs and endurance to last out there.
Orange duct tape?
Yeah, you can get it.
Maybe you'll find it
well,
at
you used to be able to get it.
That big stand, the Midas stand, which they keep passing. It's that big orange block. Anyway, here comes Sapuka down on the inside. Gennaro has a look. Sapuka close to that door, and he's going to get a little bit of pressure on the inside.
Yeah, you know what? Gennaro is just not really making the best moves here. Open the door and allow the BMW to come through. And Sapuka is out there in no man's land. He's going to get hung out to dry around this corner. If you're on the outside of turn number 2, everyone just sweeps up the inside. The BMW Ferrari has already gone. Gennaro's gone through, and Priest is following suit as well. So that was a huge error.
You know, some say that turn 2 and Cape Town corner are very, very similar, except Cape Town corner's banked, so you can get the drive off that bank.
Yeah, it is very, very... It certainly plays into the hands of the all-wheel drives anyway, because they can just get on the gas a little bit louder and a little bit earlier than the BMWs.
Right, we're coming to a close almost in race number 2, and right now, pressure. If you're going to make a move, the time is right now.
Yeah, Henny Groenewold looks like he is sitting pretty. No one's going to be on his wheel. He can take whatever line he wants to, but Sapuka has been the come-from-behind charger, and a solid second place is certainly going to help him out. Bonafide was very lucky to hang on to that 3rd place because it looked like the rest were coming on strong, and not a bad charge for Ferrari as well. But the win in heat number 2, the second of the sprint races, is going to go to the Subaru.
Checkered flag is out, and a great race win. Chop Sapuka in the pound seats again. You were so right. What a driving ability this man has got when he's in the pack.
Yeah, he just had to come through. That was all set up by his incredible start and his aggression through turn number 1.
Gary Formato, a DNF in the first race, finally gets his points haul on the money.
He must be holding his breath every single time he goes out, because the car either wins or it breaks. This time, it gave him the win.
Fantastic result. And what excellent racing we had. So well done, Henny Groenewold. Team Subaru, Sasol Subaru, will be delighted.
And then Formato, after having his problems in the first heat, comes home and stays in the fight with his win.
Right, let's get confirmation of those results in Class A to start with. Henny Groenewold, the win for Subaru, Chop Sapuka, Melville Priest, and Johan Ferrari.
Yeah, the BMWs are staying within the top 5 for now. And the big story from that race, Gennaro Bonafide getting slapped with a 30-second penalty for passing under yellows.
Confirmation of Class T results, and you guessed it. Gary Formato leading out the pack in 2, Graham Nathan behind him, Gavin Cronje in the mini, Sean Duminy and Michael Van Rooyen. That was a lot of work out there.
Yeah, you know, it's our second race with a new car, and happy to give Sasol Racing Subaru with a new car their first win for the season. But yeah, it's been a bit of a tough weekend. We haven't had the pace that we hoped for over here. Still trying to iron out a few of the difficulties of understanding the new setup, but really happy to get the win in there.
You're getting this tag now, becoming the king of inverted grids, and may they long last.
Yeah, indeed, may they long last. You know, it's all about opportunities. When there's an opportunity, you just take it and just keep your head down and just keep going. It's very competitive as well.
Well, it was hugely intense out there. I mean, all the cars, probably between first, second, and third at one stage, going into turn number 1, into 2, very, very closely matched.
Well, look, it's always going to be like that going into 10-1, especially at the start of the race, because we evenly bunched, and then once you get into the opening lap, then you stretch the legs, and everything just keeps going.
A DNF on a race win. Hardly surprising, really. The cars look good.
Yeah, the car's great. I mean, you know, the first heat was just bad luck. But, you know, I think our luck reversed when they reversed the top 8 on the field. So we started from pole again, and that was all we needed to really get away. So got caught up a little bit at the beginning with the Class A skirmish and the mini pass me, but we got by pretty quickly again. And that was that, really. I was able to pull a gap while they all fought and looked after till the end.
Join us after the break for the feature race in Bridgestone Production Cars classes A and T. Welcome back to Bridgestone Production Cars, proudly brought to you by Fast Orange Hand Cleaner. Both of the sprint races are now in the bag at round number 2 of the Super Series here at Killarney in Cape Town. We now head into the feature race, the big one, 14 laps.
No quarter asked and no quarter giving. Early stages in our championship, Matt, but getting points on the board is all vitally important.
I love this race. This is where it counts more than anything else. Double points scored in the feature race.
Also begs the question, I mean, let's have a look at what's happened so far. It hasn't always gone the way of who you would have suspected being in the front end of these competitions, particularly in race 1 and 2.
The Highveld was definitely a leveler. When you come down to the coast, more air, cleaner air is coming into the engines, but that also makes them rev out and puts more strain on them.
Regulations in this competition deems the fact that these cars are running at 20% less boost as they did in the first race and now in the second race. Will it take its toll?
We're looking to see if Michael Stephen can salvage something from a terrible day at the office. And we're also looking to see the matchup between the Class T's. So far, it has been the Cruise versus the Ford. Will we see the Golf come through this time?
Round number 2, race number 3 of the Bridgestone Production Car Championship. Gennaro Bonafini's on pole. There's a standing start. Will it affect the BMWs? Yes, it will.
Yeah, negatively. I mean, those all-wheel drive, the Quattro system fires off the line, and everyone else just got left behind. It was Bonafini and Priest who had the strongest starts. Henny Groenewald trying to sweep around the outside.
Oh, Ferrie's off!
Ferrie is off. So the man who has been untouchable on the circuit is off, and he looks like he is going to be off and staying there. But it was Michael Stephen also sweeping around the outside. There must have been about 5 cars abreast through there. Something had to give.
I think in Class T there was also some drama, and that's exactly what's happened.
Look at this. Here we go. A stall from the pole man. That's Formato. And blindsided. The Chevy Cruze just goes plowing into the back end. That's 2 cars out. The Chevy Cruze getting unceremoniously dragged off the line.
Formato's day just got worse, and Michael van Rooyen's not going to be happy about that. That's just a really lapse in concentration, there's no doubt. Although, in saying that, it's very difficult. You're on the money, you want to go, and bang, there's a car in front of you.
The Mini was very lucky to avoid that situation as well. But yeah, 2 of our key players and 2 of our race winners so far in Class T out. Now we're on board with Michael Stephen, and he has been absolutely luckless today. He's desperate to get some kind of points and salvage, like we saw Johan Ferrie do at round number 1.
So Michael Stephen came into this championship leading it, handed it back to Ferrie. Ferrie blinds himself off, and now hands it back to Stephen again. And what will the outcome of this race be? Who knows?
I know, pass me the calculator. We need to do some maths, but it's going to be some quick stuff out there. What I can tell you is happening is one of the key players, as the day gets stronger, he gets stronger. Chop Sapuka is coming on strong, but he's got an equal match in the man that got an incredible jump off the line and is looking to survive out there. And I do mean that, survive for 14 laps. Bonafini is desperate to prove that he can not only win in the wet, but the longest race in the dry.
Well, we know he's got the talent. We know that he's got a good package. Now, we saw it because it set the fastest lap down. That's the reason why he started on pole position, because he got the fastest lap time in the second race. So we know that car is quick. We know he can drive it, but can he last out the others?
Exactly. We go back and pick up on the battle for the Class T's. And amazingly enough, after avoiding the start line carnage, Gavin Cronier is running up there in a solid second place. That's a good run. Duminy is trying to tag on to the back end of these guys now.
Yeah, he's the only one flying the Ford flag again. We said it in the other race when Formato had a DNF in race number 1. So Sean Duminy is just doing what his team requires of him right now. Just get points.
Well, what were we talking about before the beginning of this feature race? The Cruze took first blood. Second race was taken by Formato and the Ford. Now it's time for the GTIs and Nathan to hit the front. He's going to get out there. He should be blocked and protected by Jacques Joubert as well.
Wow, I'm looking at Van der Linde right now. He looks ominous, and so does Melville Priest. He's got himself into a little battle royale in the mid-pack. And Melville Priest having a look on the outside. There's no way through that one. That's turn number 2.
Not a Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen is the king of the outside of turn number 2. That time, he set it up around the outside of turn 1, going back to the inside of turn 2. Watch the lines that Michael Stephen runs now. He is so good at threading the needle and making a pass happen.
Just at the back of him at the moment is Kenny Grunewald in the Subaru, Melville Priest as well. So race number 3, lap 5 of 14.
Bunching up in it.
Yeah, it is. Certainly is. Van der Linde, the man to watch at the moment on the inside and under pressure right now from Stephen, making a move.
Yeah, that's again another setup around the outside. You've got to stay in it, stay brave, and you can get up the inside here. That is a very, very hard pass to make count. You're definitely relying on your drive. The all-wheel drive system on the Quattro certainly helped him out, but you've got to position yourself carefully. So the man that we're seeing climbing the ranks is Michael Stephen, and he's got a chance to reclaim a ton of points in this race.
On board with the Afrox and Pertec BMW with Van der Linde. We know that car is fast down the back straight. 236 registered on the radar gun.
Yeah, he is definitely, but he's on the back foot. I mean, it's going to be very hard work. Look at the lines he's got to run. He has to go around the outside of people like Michael Stephen, and there is no line around the outside of people like Michael Stephen. It looks to me in this race like the BMW is going to start to go backwards. He's the only rear-wheel drive car in a cluster of all-wheel drives.
The other advantage that I wanted to tell you with Van der Linde, he has a huge braking capacity. It seems like he brakes later than everybody else.
Yeah, he does run in there. The car seems to be very good on the front, doesn't push out, so they've got the setup incredibly well on the front of those BMWs. Right now in the Class Ts, Nathan versus Cronier versus Jacques Joubert. And Jacques Joubert also needs to come up in points because he was looking tasty coming into this round.
The John Cooper Works Mini is starting to show its form in a big way right now, Matt.
Can't believe he got that drive to sweep around the outside of Nathan. So it looks to me like Nathan up that... Yeah, he's definitely limping. Nathan has got a problem. There's a gearbox full of nothing.
Yeah, which gear is he going to drive in round? Maybe he's missing a fourth, maybe a third.
See where he is. He's stuck in third. That is third gear, and there's going to be nothing else to be done with it. Nathan, looking odds on to run away with the big feature race, is going to start going steadily backwards. That puts the Cooper up front.
Who said this is motor racing and there's no bad luck? Who said that?
It's so hard. It's so hard, especially in a race like this. You know you've got to get out there, and you do the maths in your head. It's a double points race, and it hurts you.
So, meanwhile, Gavin Cronier flying the flag high for his team, the John Works Cooper Mini. Sadly enough, we mentioned it earlier on, unfortunately, Lee Thompson went out on Friday's practice.
Interesting enough to watch out for as well. When you look at the teams, 2 by 2 they came out of the trucks, and 1 by 1 they've been falling off. This time it's Nathan who has gone backwards, or is going backwards, and it's up to Jacques Joubert to wave the flag. In the minis, all weekend since the demise of Lee Thompson, it's been Gavin Cronier, and in this race, with Gary Formato coming out, it is all about Duminy to go up there and grab some points.
Yeah, he's going to chase down Nathan. Nathan doesn't have an answer. He doesn't get the drive, stuck in third gear. Oh, man, it must be really frustrating for him. There goes, blowing past Nathan, Sean Duminy. Front end of this, Gennaro Bonafide is still hanging on. There are the two Engine Extreme S4 Supercharged Audi, Stephen and Sapuka.
And there is the fastest man on track right now and has been for the last 2 laps. Michael Stephen doing the exact same line as he did a couple of laps ago. Round the outside of the sweep, inside, and here we go. He's going to set up the big pass, and this means he's got to dive up the inside of Chop Sapuka through Malmesbury.
This is a team game, and we've seen often, I mean, I go back a couple of years ago, how BMWs have taken themselves out. We don't want this to happen right now.
Yeah, Chops is desperate for points in this championship as well, and he has got a good chance here. He was running in second place. Now Michael Stephen starts coming on song, moves up into second place, and don't count him out for catching up with Gennaro Bonafide. Gennaro's been left off the hook for a while, but Stephen is coming on strong now.
Sapuka's had very fond memories of Cape Town. He made his debut win here in the older A4, and now they're into the big cars, the S4 Supercharge. And this is just a mind-blowing performance right now from Michael Stephen.
I had all but written off Etienne van der Linde, but he is holding song, staying in 4th place, and actually getting away from Henny Groenewald, closing things up on Chop Sapuka. So Chops needs to be careful now. He's got to run with the pace of Michael Stephen and try and break away, because the concertina effect is coming. The BMW is just getting its legs back. It looked like it took a breather. Now it's coming back.
Well, Van der Linde is going to understand what it means not to have your partner out there. They did experience that. The Audis did experience that. But right now it's very difficult for them because we've got a 2-man team against a 1-man car at the moment.
Over the wall, and the number board showing the details to Gennaro Bonafide. The numbers have been clicking down steadily and Michael Stephen is now literally attached to his bumper as the Class A's come through to lap Nathan, limping around.
Gennaro Bonifidi, their team, and Bonifidi Senior are going to be delighted. Can Stephen bring pressure to bear? It is the penultimate lap. All Gennaro's got to do is just fight off Michael Stephen.
Is that all? It's going to be one hard lap. He hasn't driven with this kind of pressure the whole way through the day. Yes, he's been in dices. Yes, he's been in the mix. But the win has not been up for grabs. And all of a sudden, that changes things completely. Look at his line heading into turn number 1 already. Normally, he'd be sweeping around the outside and getting big drive. But with a car this close, he's trying to protect the line, and he hasn't protected it well enough. Goes for the double apex, still controls the ground coming out, but watch where he goes. He will stay close to the inside of the next right-hander and make Michael Stephen go the long way round. But remember, this is the sector of the track where we've seen 3 passes for Michael Stephen. He is so good here.
The other place that Michael Stephen will have a chance is the exit out of Malmesbury. Now, he'll wait, he'll look at what Gennaro Bonifidi's do, then he's going to set the car up and floor it and see if he can actually get a tow.
There looks like a big enough gap here. There's about 2 car lengths, and Bonifidi is just going to work on his drive. Remember, that never-ending set of right-handers that is Malmesbury, and Bonifidi going all the way out to the curbs as we go back and pick up on our race leader in the Class Ts. And Gavin Cornier, after a dismal weekend for the team, is going to cheer them up a little bit at least.
Well, I'm scratching my head because this is a huge surprise.
It's massive, and unfortunately, the second of the Indy Oil GTIs just hasn't been able to run the pace. Right, here we go. Out of the final corner, and Bonifidi is going to control this one. Stephen had a go, made a mistake on the last lap. The flag is out, and Bonifidi has proved us all wrong. He can win the drive.
Fantastic result for the Team Feroda, the Audis. Well, 1, 2, and 3 at the moment. Melville has got to be in that mix. And here comes the race leader, as you said. Well done to the John Cooper Works Mini. It's Gavin Cronier. What a drive.
And he comes to lap Nathan, who did manage to limp across the line and score at least some points. He'll have seen Formato parked on the side and knew it was a big game.
Man, it opens up this championship right now because all the usual protagonists have had problems today.
Yeah, look at that. The dismal walk back for the Chevy Cruze driver as we confirm our results. Gennaro Bonifidi gets his win ahead of Stephen, Sapuka, Van der Linde, and Groenewold. That was a very tight top 5.
Not a bad day for Melville Priest to be quite happy. Richard Pennard, then John Mayer, and Johan Free. What a disappointing end to the theme piece.
The feature race for the Class T started with drama and ended with a surprise. Gavin Cornier and the Mini winning ahead of Joubert and Dumini.
It was a long time coming, but we saw signs of it at the end of 2012. And we knew that you were the driver and you had a great package. Today, you put all of those things to bed.
No, for sure. I can't tell you how bad Killarney was. I mean, the team, you know, we were so down and out. And I think the guys worked day in, day out. They worked long weekends. They worked late nights. And they're giving me a car this weekend that is reliable, it's strong. The setup was fantastic the whole weekend. And I thought to myself, you know what, we're in the money this weekend. And to go flag to flag, it was, I can't tell you how much it means. Do you know what I mean? Especially for the whole team and Feroda Racing. And
well, we've got to ask you the question. I mean, now it's under your belt. You're done. It's like you've broken the duck's back, and we move on to Port Elizabeth and Alder Scribanti. Tell me your feelings about that, going to another coastal route.
Well, for sure. I mean, we saw how the Audi was fantastic here at Cape Town. It's always been a Cape Town track, even though the BMWs had a lot on us in a straight line. We showed that we had the class to win, 1, 2, 3. And so, you know what, I think we're looking forward to PE. It's a track that a lot of tyre wear, and the Audis are very good on that. And with the Feroda brakes at the long straight there, I think I'll be in the money.
We got ourselves a really good day for Team Engine Extreme. Didn't quite win the main theme, but certainly a big improvement. And the bonus, Chop Sapuka doing quite well as well. But let's talk about you and your race.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't a perfect day for us. Race 1, you know, we had rubbing of wheels and a tyre go flat. Race 2, a belt came off on the pulley and lost water temp. So, yeah, that wasn't too great, but those things happen in motorsport. And I think we came back strong in race 3, starting 7th on the grid. Made a good start up to 3rd, got bumped off back to 5th, and had a great race. I think I got to 2nd with about 6 laps to go. And I had Gennaro in my sights, and I put my head down and went. Caught him with 2 laps to go, but you know, he drove well and defended well. So well done to him, and you know, I'm happy with 2nd.
The man in the points again. Not the ideal day, but I'll tell you what, you'll take it, won't you, Chops?
We'll keep taking them, sir. That's what is important. Team has done a fantastic job. We did our best on the day. We're going to walk away victorious.
Would it be fair to say that today's series was pretty robust out there?
Very. It's always going to be robust when you have 3 Audis boxing it together with a BM next door to you. So it's, you know, it's even Stevens in certain areas, but you just got to make it work. And the cars are, I think they're fairly good.
Well, that has to be a sense of relief.
Absolutely, it's a difficult weekend, but yeah, we brought it through, and eventually to end off with a win was great. Some more development, and I think we've learned something this weekend.
Well, I mean, you go on data at the best of times. Did you have enough for the setup, particularly here at Killarney?
Well, the last time I was out here, we didn't run, so, and we know Cape Town's never going to be our best circuit. And to come away here with a win is, we're stoked. I mean, I think going to the next couple of circuits are going to really suit us a bit better, and then they're going to have to work as hard as I did this weekend.
It was tough work out there, Jacques Joubert.
Firstly, I just want to say a big thanks to the team. We had a dismal start to this weekend. I made an error going into turn 1, the race 1, and that cost us 2 races. But big thanks to the team. In less than 40 minutes, I had my new gearbox in, and that's why I could compete and get second place today.
You had some problems out there with your car. Tell us a bit more about it.
It was a great day for Team India. We came down here, we had a great presence. The team was here in full force. Went out there, the whole team did exactly what we needed to do, which was brand awareness. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a failure in my gearbox broke. Jacques therefore picked up the slack, and he just went and had a go at the lead and took it straight to Killarney.
Let's get confirmations on the point standing as it stands after round 2. 53 for Michael Stephen leading it out. Johan Free, Chop Sapuka, Etienne van der Linde, Henny Groenewald and Melville Priest.
In the Class T's, consistency pays so far. Graham Nathan leading out by 11 points over Cronier. Joubert still solid with third.
Manufacturer's points goes to say that Audi is strong, leading out Volkswagen and BMW, with Subaru and Ford next.
So this is what it looked like down at the Mother City. 3 different winners for each of the races. And the same with the Class T's, with the mix-up of a new victor in the shape of the Chevy Cruze and Michael Van Rooyen.
For more information on the Super Production Cars Championship, www.spcc.co.za. The feature race was eventful, as the standing start took some casualties. Van Rooyen smashed into a stalled Formato, and Henny Groenewald rubbed metal with Johan Free, leaving Bonafini and Cronier to take the flag and claim the glory. So, dreams won and dreams lost as round 2 comes to an end. Thank you to Killarney, its race officials, and hats off to Cape Town for giving us this beautiful day for racing. Our next round is in Port Elizabeth on the 6th of April at Alder Scribanti. I'm Steve Bishop with Matt Smith. This is World Class Racing, Bridgestone Production Cars.